Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Eva. I make videos all about sustainable, low waste living, minimalism and veganism, and today I'm going to talk to you about the 30 wear rule, what it is, how you can implement it into your life and into your wardrobe, and how you can shop more mindfully through using this rule. So I haven't seen that many videos on YouTube about the 30 wear rule, although I know that some YouTubers do mention it when they're going through their minimalist wardrobes. But essentially the 30 wear rule is the idea that when you purchase an item of clothing, whether it's secondhand or new, that you think about how many times you're going to wear that item. You think about if you're going to get 30 wears out of it, and if not, then don't buy it. And implementing this into your life is quite simple. You just have to shop more mindfully. Don't shop for occasion. Don't shop just because you think it looks pretty. You need to think about whether these items will work with your wardrobe, with what you already have, and if you can get 30 wears out of it. I have notes on my computer again, so excuse me. So the first thing is, does it fit into your wardrobe? Think about the colour scheme of your wardrobe, the cut, the materials, you know, the patterns. Think about what you're going for and if you're going to get 30 wears out of the item you were thinking of purchasing. Another thing is also the material. So I buy a lot of secondhand clothes, and I found that although I'll buy intentionally, some items have just been worn quite a lot, and you'll find that with cheap synthetic fibres that they, you know, lose their shape and they go all horrible very, very quickly, and so they may not last 30 wears. And if you say on average you'll wash it between 15 times, you have to bear that in mind when you're buying the item. Is it high quality? Is the material going to withstand this kind of, you know, washing? What are you going to use the item for? Is it simply for you to keep for years and years and years and only wear to weddings or like formal events? Or is it something that you're going to wear on like a daily basis? And when you take that into consideration, you really do have to think about the longevity of the item and how much wear it's already had. So for example, I bought a linen dress off of, I think it's Spock, and I wore it for a full year, and I probably did get about 30 wears out of it because I wore it all the time. I'm very good at like layering, wearing summer things in the winter and winter things in the summer, blah blah blah. I pride myself on the fact that my wardrobe is all year round, and I love linen dresses, but they can be very thin in the winter, so I choose my tights that are 100% cotton, you know, kind of with that in mind, with that the tights are going to be keeping me warm under that thin linen dress. So I bought this linen dress and it was all good. It was quite thin, but then as I wore it and wore it and wore it and washed it and washed it and washed it, it did start to get holes in it, and I like to fix my clothes, so I sewed up the holes, but they just kept coming back, and in the end I was like, this is getting too sheer now, like it's just gonna go. So I still have the dress. I'm trying to figure out what I can do with it, whether I can turn it into, you know, a tank top rather than having it as a dress, but it's worth looking at the material that you're buying and considering whether it is going to withstand the wear and tear of 30 wears and 20 to 15 washes. So in terms of sustainability, why is it important that we consider how many times we can wear an item of clothing? So the fashion industry is actually one of the biggest pollutants when it comes to climate change, and when it comes to sort of like polluting waterways and air pollution and all sorts. There are all sorts of really nasty chemicals, especially produced when producing leather and when dyeing jeans and clothes. And also a lot of these clothes are made really, really, really unethically, with, you know, people being made to work unpaid overtime, not being allowed to be part of a union, forced child labour, forced labour, you know, absolutely no respect for human rights whatsoever. These people are being forced to work all day for $1, $2 a day for 16-hour days, 7 days a week, to make cheap clothes for all of us to consume as and when we want. So it's also really, really bad for people, not just the environment. And so when buying clothing, we do need to consider the impact that what we're buying is having, not just on the environment or on animals. If you're buying sort of leather or wool or silk or fur or down, but also the impact it's having on people. And that comes into the cost of the clothing, I think. So if I was to buy new clothes, which occasionally I do buy new clothes and I tend to invest in my clothes because they do have to meet a very high criteria for me in order to buy them, but you owe it to the environment, to the people. Hopefully you don't buy things that come from animals, and I can make a whole separate video about why we shouldn't be buying things that come from animals, but you owe it to them and to the planet to wear that item of clothing. Everything you buy has a carbon footprint. Everything that you buy has come from somewhere, been made by someone, and you owe it to those people and to the environment to wear it more than a few times. I feel like we live in this culture of buy, you can't wear outfits more than once. I wear the same outfits year in, year out, and I really don't care. I don't care what people think of me, and I think that's a really big part of it as well, is learning how to love yourself and not care what people think of you, so that when you buy clothes, you wear them and you wear them and you wear them. And people may see it, you know, someone may notice, but I can guarantee you that people don't care as much as you think that they care about what you're wearing. And you really do owe it to the environment, to animals, and to people to wear these clothes until their very last legs. And I'm going to make a whole separate video about how to fix your clothes, how I fix my clothes, what I do when they're all worn out, how I turn them into something new if I don't like the way they are anymore. I have very basic sewing skills, but I make do and I try and live as sustainably as possible. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Comment down below anything that you have worn more than 30 times. And I can always show you some of my favourite items that I've worn way more than 30 times. And yeah, let's start a little conversation about increasing the longevity of our clothing and keeping them from when we got them to when they eventually break down and can no longer serve us. So thanks so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please give it a like, comment and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.